What I want to discuss are malfunctions with this. Because if we have this, we should know that. And if you don't know it, you're going to know it now. First off, once again, dummy rounds. By the way, dummy rounds. First off, what is the most common malfunction with this platform?
Double feed or failure to feed.
I can stand here all day. I didn't hear the right answer yet. That's fine.
Failure extract.
Failure to fire. Operator error.
CLP. Thank you. Who said it? Yes. Operator error. Shooter induced. It's not debatable. That's number one. The last 2 days out here, we had several malfunctions, and I think 99% of them were shooter induced. Yep, shooter induced. So shooter induced is you didn't load it. Number one, it's not loaded. There's not even a mag in it. Click. Whoa, oh shit. Mag's not seated. Bolt's not in battery. All that stuff. Shooter induced. Number one, not debatable. How do we perform immediate action with this? Slap rack, right? Slap rack. Is that going to clear everyone? No, but it's going to clear most every shooter-induced malfunction. Most every one. So therefore, it'll clear most of them. But let's talk sequence of fire. 8-step cycle of operation. What is number one? Firing, number one. Fire. All right, failure to fire. What could cause failure to fire? That's shooter induced.
Firing pin.
Firing pin can be worn, right? When you inspect your firing pin, the tip should be bulbous. Right? The tip of that firing pin is bulbous. Bulbous. So it could be that. What else?
Bad primer.
Yeah, it could be bad ammo. You guys don't see that much because you got good ammo here. But I see it out in that civilian world where guys are, scrimping and buying cheap shit. See it a lot. Failure to fire. Somebody else said something about hammer. Not hammer, but hammer spring. I've seen that several times, right? 2 prongs in the hammer spring, one side or the other broken. Hammer doesn't have enough ass to freaking send that firing pin home fast enough to detonate that primer. Failure to fire. So that's a pretty common one. And that's also slap rack. So firing, what comes next?
Unlocking.
Thank you. Who said that? You are not, you got it right, but don't answer the rest of it because you probably know the sequence. So unlocking is the next one. Now there's not a lot of malfunctions with unlocking, but there's several with the next one. Firing, unlocking, rock and roll, extracting. Fuck, I gotta go to the GYM. Failure to extract. What causes that one right there? It's not a bad extractor because that extractor's hanging out for dear life. The good news with this one is you got a good extractor. He's hanging out for dear life.
Dirty extractor? Dirty extractor?
Nope, this one's not extractor because it's, it's really hanging on.
Your ammo.
Dirty chamber.
Yep, once again, it could be not necessarily chamber, but throat. Foul throat or ammo expansion, case expansion in the throat. It could also be an obstruction in the throat, and I'll explain that pretty soon. So those are the main ones. How do we clear this? Failure to extract. Alright.
Yeah.
God damn it, I can't hear. There's whispering going on. I got good hearing too, man. Weapon not safe, yep. I'm not gonna drop the mag on this one. No, I'm not gonna drop the mag on this one.
I usually just drop from the ground. Pop.
Mortar it, right?
Yeah.
Mortar it. What do we do before we mortar it?
Safe.
It's not. It won't go on safe. It didn't say.
Collapse the stock. Because we don't want to break that. The reason I'm not gonna drop my mag is I'm gonna do it right there. And I'm gonna put it right back into action. Charging handle, boom, get that sucker out, put it right back into action. Because I don't want to add a step to it if I could get back into action faster. Another type of failure to extract, of course, is bad extractor. So it's always a good idea when you break it down, you reassemble it, clean. So you're not just cleaning it to clean it, but to inspect it. So if you got a dummy round or a piece of brass, you hook it under and kind of check to make sure you've got a really good extractor bite. All right. So firing, unlocking, extracting, ejecting. So there's a couple different type of failure to eject. This is one, damn it, where the brass just trickles out. It just trickles out. It's like, what in the hell is causing that thing? Any ideas?
Magazine.
Thing is too, guys, we're doing this in the 8-step cycle of operation because if you have a malfunction, you should be able to identify it and then resolve it for what it is and perform, remedial later, like fix that piece or replace this, that kind of thing, or lube that. Instead of saying some bullshit like, it's a misfire. So this one, the brass is just trickling out.
It's not getting enough gas.
No, not yet.
Extractor.
Not extractor spring, ejector spring, right. So another thing, put my bolt back together when it's clean, hook that brass under the extractor and feel the ejector spring tension. I want to know what right feels like. Because if I know what right feels like, I know what wrong feels like. And wrong will slap you in the face. Yeah. So when I see that, I said, let me check your rifle out, pull it out, and I do this, and I go, oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah, you got an extra bolt, freaking get an extra bolt, put that in because your ejector spring tension is no more. All right. Come on, where you at? Get out of there. So, firing, unlocking, extracting, ejecting. Another failure to eject could be that as a result of the next one. What comes after ejecting? Yeah, right on cocking. All right, so boom, recycled that piece of brass. So it didn't eject because there was no cocking. What causes that? Thank you. Yeah, you're losing gas from somewhere. And on this, we lose it from several different places. So gas block, right? Gas block, the gas comes out, goes up into the gas tube, down. The gas block can be loose. Not so common with, these type of OEM sites, but like aftermarkets gas blocks, it's relatively common. The next place we lose gas from, gas key. All right there in the gas key, I've seen gas keys come loose. Where's the next one? Gas. Rings. Yeah, you guys do that. So, should be 3 of them on there, right? Does it matter if they're lined up or not? It does not matter. It doesn't make a shit. Because once they're in the bolt carrier, they collapse. So an easy way to check your gas rings is when you put your bolt back in your bolt carrier, you should be able to suspend your bolt carrier with your bolt, because the only thing holding on right now is gas rings. So that's right, where this 3 gas rings is wrong. Oops, I didn't. Yeah, see, that's wrong. So you know your gas rings have shit the bed. So this right here is not going to work very long. Yep, you're going to go boom, click, boom, click, boom, click. Gas rings are easy to replace, man. I always carry them to the range with me. Carry a freaking buttload. Takes about, I don't know, a minute and a half to change 3 gas rings out. Ish. So, firing, unlocking, extracting, ejecting, cocking. Feeding, yep. So, a couple different failure to feeds. This one right, boom. There's one type of failure to feed, right there. It's called what? Yeah, double feed, right? What causes double feed? Yeah, magazine, right? Loose lips. So during cocking, a round will jump out and sit like that. Bolt comes forward and tries to chamber 2 of them. So if that's a recurring theme, you need to shit can that magazine. Don't put it back in circulation so somebody else could get a freaking double feed. That thing needs to have a big X on it and smash it with a hammer or something, throw it away. Because otherwise somebody else is jacked. Another. So with that guy, drop the mag, lock it to the rear. Now live rounds get stuck up in there. So you just have to reach your hand up in there, loosen them up, and they'll fall right out. Another type of failure to feed. Oh my mother of God! What I create there?
Bolt override.
Bolt override. So I call a bolt override a double feed that's gone rogue. So during cocking, a round jumps out and sits on top of the mag. Bolt comes forward. This round goes like that, and it gets stuck between the bolt group and the charging handle. Holy hell. Is there armor in the house? How do we clear that thing?
Mortar it upside down.
If I mortar it, it's just going to make it worse.
You can push back on the bolt, relieving the tension from the buffer spring, and then push the charging handle forward or back, however it's stuck, and it'll fall right out.
Yep. Or we can just go ahead and clear it. Yep.
So simple.
One more time.
Yep, one more time. Oh my mother of God! You gotta say that anytime you get a bolt override. Because that sucks. Now if we mortar it, watch what happens. Can you see that? Can you see the bolt in the round?
Mm-hmm.
All it's gonna happen, it's all moves as a component. Everything moves together. Mortaring is gonna do nothing but make it worse. But we wanna pull this back about 1 inch. You can do this in the dark. Pull it back about 1 inch. Hold the bolt in place anywhere. Anywhere. Just hold it in place. Slap that forward. Thing is, it's not a catastrophic failure. Just fix it and get back into the fight. It's a couple seconds. If you know what it is, it's a couple seconds. Get that sucker back up and running and get back into the fight. Because it does happen, but most people see that and go, this is a catastrophe, I am out of the fight. Hell no, man. Just fix it. Firing, unlocking, extracting, ejecting, cocking, feeding. Right, what causes failure to chamber? I've heard that there's a new one. I guess feed ramps have been getting jacked up with the A1. Is that right? Something like that. But there's other simple. One is I see it on the outside because people buy cheap stuff. I had a guy come to a 2-day rifle course with 1,000 rounds of cosmetic imperfections. Every round was bent. Yeah, every round, 1,000 rounds. I've seen my own eyes this many times either a cigarette butt or an earplug chambered.
What the fuck?
Somebody's seen it. Who's seen that? Who's seen that?
Oh.
Last class, I had 3 guys that had seen the same thing. How does that happen? You know how it happens.
I think so.
It goes in your pocket, you got magazines in the same pocket or ammo pouch, or that earplug. It's now a trash picker up. You pull it out, you chamber a cigarette butt or an earplug. I have also seen once, I had this one troop with Phase 2 extract. So I was mortaring for him, and as I mortared a round out, there was writing on a piece of brass. Some script. And I was like, what the hell? So through the power of deductive reasoning, I determined that something was stuck in the throat. So I shotgunned it, took out the bolt group, and with the dental tool pulled out a Jolly Rancher wrapper.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh, also, yeah, those are it. So, firing, unlocking, extracting, ejecting, cock, feeding, chambering, back to lock. So, failure to lock, a couple things could happen here. An obstruction in the chamber. And it could be just a pebble. It could be a lug from the bolt face. It could be a lug from the star chamber. It could be a primer. Shit happens. Weird shit happens. So those are the big ones. There's a lot of other little ones, but the thing is, if you know how the rifle works, you can go to the source, fix it, and identify it for what it is, versus saying some bullshit, some arbitrary bullshit. I had one class where I had, boom, the bolt is stuck there. No round, no magazine, nothing. It's stuck. What happened? Yeah, you're getting close to it. There's something stuck between the bolt group and the upper receiver. So, this one class, I edged it out with a screwdriver and ball peen hammer. Boom. Took it apart. Took the bolt group out and went. And there was a primer in the cam well. 3 classes later, had the same thing happen. Boom. And I had 4 gun geeks all looking at this, trying to figure it out. And I walked by, I said, you get a primer in the cam well. And I walked past, and they banged it out and went, he's a wizard. Guys, yeah, he's a wizard. Anyway, it's necessary to know that those 8-step cycle of operation, especially for, just this, for the malfunction stuff. It's a good thing to know. We should all know it. And now we do. Because we just repeated it like 8 times. Everybody good? All right, what do we need for the next thing? We need 40 rounds for the next thing. 40. What do I got with the rate? 40. Yep, 40 rounds for the next thing. Guys, put up clean targets so we're good on the target line. So we'll get 40 rounds. We'll come down to the firing line. I'll explain the course of fire. Get hot.